Colorado Governor Jared Polis is still signing bills that passed this legislative session.
That's right. In our newest Business Buzz episode on 9 News Plus, Ryan Frazier and Ed Sealover talk with the Colorado Senate president about the big bills that made it through and what didn't. The latest episode streaming on 9 News Plus just yesterday, and here this morning talk a little bit more about it. We got Business Buzz host himself, Ryan Frazier. Ryan, good morning.
Great to be with you guys. Great to be with the best viewers in Colorado, the 9 News viewers as well.
All right, we like to hear that. Yeah. Well, what are some of the bills that the Senate president highlighted?
You know, the whole theme of this legislative session was really affordability. How does the legislature make life a little more affordable for everyday Coloradans? The jury's out as to whether they actually achieved that, but the Senate president talked about some things they did that he thinks moves towards that, like addressing junk fees, which is putting requirements on what businesses must disclose so that people know what they're paying. So that not just the base cost, but things like booking fees and utility fees. We also talked about the efforts to address construction defects. As you guys have known, we've covered that a great deal here on 9 News to try to expand the condo market and address the housing affordability issues we have in the state. They also incentivized employee ownership in businesses and things like that. One of the things the Senate president talked about that they did was bringing the Sundance Film Festival to town, which is huge for Colorado,
business,
a great economic plus for our state. And so a lot of pluses in terms of that. But again, the real question, I think, is whether this legislative session was able to effectively address the affordability question, which is still a big issue for a lot of Coloradans and a lot of businesses.
Sure is. All right, we have a clip from your discussion. Check it out.
Bills this year like swipe fees, bills this year like AI that didn't get across the finish line. And so I think sometimes these things take multiple years, but I think everyone's concerned and we want to figure out how we can take people, bring them back to the table over the interim in preparation for next year, and how can we improve on that?
AI is such a big conversation. We were just talking about this, and we want to make sure that we're not behind the ball when it comes to AI regulation either.
100%. That's a huge topic. You know, back in 2024, Colorado put in place some of the most comprehensive and restrictive AI regulations in the entire country. And there's a big concern by tech leaders and business folks alike that it's going to deter the ability to bring AI industry and jobs to our state. Now, there was an effort to try to address that, to fix it in this session, but unfortunately, it failed. It did not go further. So what the Colorado Senate president was saying and what many folks are hoping is that in the months, if you will, ahead, they're going to get back to the table to try to figure out how to make Colorado competitive so that we don't lose out on the opportunity to be a part of this growing AI industry.
And it's fascinating that you say that, exactly, because it is growing and other states are getting those industries right here. Right. We know, of course, we've seen software grow in Colorado and a lot of those tech jobs moving to Denver.
Absolutely. And these are great paying jobs, might I add. And it's an industry that Colorado needs to be a leader in. So I'm hopeful, as is I think many people, that they're going to get back to the table and make sure Colorado's competitive. It's not about getting rid of every regulation. It's about making sure that they're appropriate, they're sensible regulations, and you don't unduly burden business.
That's why I love the Business Buzz. It makes you smarter. It dives deeper into the topics that we can only kind of glaze over on the morning show. So that is so wonderful. And you can catch the new episode later this morning at 11:10 on 9 News Plus. As always, Ryan, you're wonderful. Thanks for coming in.